right. Okay. Yeah, so this is epic. The first thing that I'm going to do is show the spoiler for today, and then also we have a spoiler page up now, so you can see all the spoilers that have been posted so far. So, how's it going, Cash? Alright, so the spoiler for today is Smite the Wicked, which is a one cost good event, and you either draw two cards or uh, you can make your opponent banish their largest champion. And also, we have the. Let me just post the link for the blog post. Those are the spoilers that have been posted so far. All right. So this week's arena is Dark Draft. No base set still. I'm going to go ahead and leave this card up here while I queue, and then once we find an opponent, I'm going to swap over to the game. I've been working on this new deck list. And basically, it is kind of a combination of a couple of deck lists. And I guess I can swap it over now. Yeah, pretty much everyone is pretty surprised there. I'd say the most surprised is probably that person in the back that just fell over a log or something. Anyways, this new deck is a Sage and Good deck that I've been experimenting with. Oh, alright, we have a game here. Alright, it looks like it's Dark Draft. I'm gonna be... Honestly, this Juggernaut looks pretty good, so I'm just gonna take the Juggernaut here. We might not go into Sage, which is fine, because even if you're not in Sage, then Juggernaut is still a reasonable pick. Alright, so from this pack, so I personally am not as impressed with Fireball. I know a lot of people like this card, but I'm just going to pick up the two Sage cards here. both to help Juggernaut loyalty, but also just because they're both draw twos with reasonable secondary effects. Alright, this is a good pack, although I think I'm really excited about this Kong, so I'm just going to go straight for Kong. Based on what we're passing, we can pretty much expect that Rob will go into wild here. So we should keep in mind Rob's going to be heavy wild and just expect that this game. Let's just go ahead and pick up this Knight of Alara and the Inheritance Mig. I think this is a pretty easy pack. We have the Sage to support Knight of Alara, and this is our first board clear. Alright, I think we're just going to take the Guild Demon here. Not too tough of a choice. I really like the discard pile banishment, and it's a very versatile card. You can use it to block a big attacker, you can use it just to antagonize your opponent if they're low on health. It can be 3 damage to them if you need it, if they're at 3 or less. So far, okay, this is a good pack. Probably going to take this Absolve. I think the health gain will be very good. After that, I think I really like this Lightning Storm. It'll help us deal with small champions. I actually really like Lightning Storm over Rain of Fire just because it has a lot of uses. Like you can use it to take down a really big champion, or you can split it up among several small champions. I'm going to go ahead and take this Sea Titan. Also, if there's nothing in play, you can dome your opponent for 6, but with Rain of Fire, you can only hit them for 4. Yeah, Sea Titan it is. Drain Essence, that's perfect. I actually want to take the Sundaris. I think Rob will have a hard time dealing with it based if they are heavy wilds. This is a good time to take Thundaris. Can I take the Necromancer Lord? We're 12 cards in. It's very good with Sea Titan. Priest of Evangeline's okay. I'm gonna go for it. It's very greedy. But let's do it. I'm gonna grab this Knight of Shadows, and honestly the Plentiful Dead is not gonna be very good in the deck, so I'm just gonna take the Temporal Shift here. Yeah, I've got some good cards to get back. Kong, Juggernaut, and Sea Titan are all great. Thundaris, Knight of Shadows are all pretty good. Knight of Alara can be fine. Probably gonna grab this Demonic Rising. I think, honestly, between Mythic Monster and Demonic Rising, Mythic Monster is a little better, but I really want that Evil card. So I'm just gonna pick this up as a draw 2. Help us flush out our draw 2s. Alright, we're just gonna grab Flanking Maneuver and Inner Demon here. I think we have enough Sage, and I think Flanking Maneuver is better than Transmogrify. Inner Demon, again, we're taking some, generally, Transmogrify and Inner Demon are about the same power level. Like Transmogrify is a little stronger if you're drawing 2, but Inner Demon has a lot of extra versatility. But we're definitely going to take the Evil card here. Tough pack here. Some great cards for our deck. Unfortunately, we can only take 1. Honestly, it's probably... I mean, I think the Word of Summoning is the best pick if I don't think that Rob has loyalty for Evil. So I'm going to take the Word of Summoning as more of a hate pick here. Even though I think the Murderous Necromancer is slightly stronger for us, they're both quite good, and the Word of Summoning goes in any deck. So I'm going to grab a Steel Golem here, and then the other option is my choice. I'm going to go with the Ankylosaurus. We don't have very many zeros, so it's something to keep in mind. I think this will be our third. With 8 1-cost Sage cards, I think Shadow and Pool will be quite good, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. It's a lot more, even in a heavy Sage deck, you don't usually have this many 1-cost Sage cards at this point in the draft. Alright, I'm going to grab this Vilify and this Mobilize. Honestly, Subjugate hits a lot of our stuff, and I want the health gain, basically. I'm still on the, I'm still thinking that Rob is heavy into wilds. That's still what I'm expecting. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this Draka's Fire here. Wolfspite's great, and Grave Demon's great. Great picks here. Alright, we have 8 evil. We're doing pretty nice. Could use maybe 2 more evil cards, but they're not necessary. So here, honestly, the Keeper of Secrets, I'm gonna grab mostly because of how many Sage we have. I think the Keeper of Secrets is very strong here. Alright, and then we'll grab a Citadel Scholar, and I don't think we have any Punishers. I guess there's Knight of Alar. And say Steel Golem. Still, I think it'll be the Gold Dragon over the Secret Legion. Alright. Overall, an interesting deck. I'm not sure how we'll do. We're going first. So I kind of just want to slam this Thunderous, so I'll toss the Word of Summoning, and I think the rest of our hand's great. We've got a piece of removal. We've got a free card that we can use to chump something if we need to. And we've got a draw to. Seems perfect. We haven't seen an erase, so it's possible that we get punished playing this Thunderous. Any number of things could better get this. Better get this. There's a Necrovirus. All right. Well, we did pass that, so it shouldn't be too surprising. This honestly isn't the worst time to go with the Guild Demon, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and play it and get rid of that Necrovirus right away. Then we'll come in for 3. Choosing not to banish our own Thunderous. Just pull up the stream here. Because I am ready for that fix, but I don't think that it'll come out until Tuesday, the first Tuesday. Alright, I can see the chat on my phone. Overall, we have less cards here. Could get punished for having these 2 small champions out. But it's also a pretty nice play to just temporal shift the zombie token. If not now, then at some point. Just because the token gets removed, and then Rob would have to banish a card from their hand. And they can't get rid of the card that, yeah, I think I was right about the Heavy Wilds. So that means almost definitely going to be a Battle Cry off turn. Draw 2. I'm just drawing 2 and taking, okay, I'm just going to take the 2 damage here. And then we'll Kong the 11-11. I keep alt tabbing. Take 2. On the bright side, Heavy Wild, it tends to struggle with large champions. So we actually have a lot of large champions in our deck. And I think Kong Sea Titan follow-up to the Thunderous will be plenty. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. It's going to be Battle Cry to draw 2, almost definitely. There's 1 non-wild card in Rob's hand, likely. I mean, it's possible Rob has 4, but people don't usually just bluff that they don't have a another card. Just to not deal the 1 damage. Considering a 0, maybe. Maybe considering a Rescue Griffin. I'm going to guess that Rob has Rescue Griffin in hand. Since we passed a Rescue Griffin. And I think the pack, Rob probably took Rescue Griffin and Priestess Evangeline from that pack. And there aren't many ambush champions I would think about playing off turn and then choose not to. I mean, I'm just assuming that's why he paused after playing the Battle Cry. Could all be an elaborate bluff. 12-17. Just gonna temporal shift that. I don't actually know. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't know whether Rob has a trick, like a Go Wild. But especially if there's a Rescue Griffin in hand, there's no reason to really push this zombie token. So I'm just going to go ahead and swing into it and then pass. I could C-Titan it right here, but I'm really overextending into a board clear, and we did pass an Apocalypse. And likely in Heavy Wild, there won't be many cards Rob has that can answer my big champion, so I should try to pace myself as much as possible and just force each of these to be answered individually. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and banish something. We don't know what that something was. Probably the Winds of Change. Winds of Change, in my opinion, is a difficult card to use, but you might pick it if you need a lot of wilds. Alright, now we're going to pass. This is a fast clock, so we don't really need anything else. We can just attack with Kong every turn and see what our opponent wants to do about that. I'm expecting the Rampaging Cyclops to come down again here. In which case, honestly, I don't know. I'll probably transform it, but alright, that's fine. We're just gonna Drain Essence the Pack Alpha here. Seems like a good time to use it. Go ahead and eat a wolf token here. And then I'll probably go for Shadow Imp attack, Keeper of Secrets, draw 2, a transform, recycle to draw 3. Returning a Shadow Imp to hand. Canopy, a huge Canopy Ranger. I mean, let's just turn that into a wolf. Like I said, this Kong is going to be tough to deal with. We want to force it to be answered. Just slow roll our threats. These wolves can jump for a while, but we'll get through eventually. I'm very glad that we drew this Demonic Rising here, because I would feel very bad about playing this Transform in that way if I didn't have another draw 2 in hand. So it looks like we're going to be taking 4. And then some playing the Rampage Cyclops maybe. Dark Knight, okay. We're at 35, so we're pretty. Take some hits. This Dark Knight may be hitting us many times though, which is a problem. We've got 6 cards in the discard pile, so we should be trying to use this Keeper of Secrets soon. Especially since it can block these wolves effectively on its own. Maybe Rob does still have that, whoa. I think I have a 0 that answers that. So I will be using a Shadow Imp here and just blocking with it, unfortunately. I suppose I could hit like Word of Summoning, Wolf's Bite. I don't want to give away that I've spent my gold though. I'm kind of oh, guess there's no rage or anything. Go ahead and draw two. This is an odd game here. Looks like Rob's trying to get me to go on defense because of that rampaging Cyclops. I've got to use this Inner Demon to draw two. I could Sea Titan either the Wolf token or the rampaging Cyclops. I really like forcing Rob to spend their gold again. It does make me somewhat vulnerable. To a board clear. I may just go for this wolf token instead. Just return that to hand and then attack with Kong. Go ahead and recycle first in case I draw something just off the top here that makes me change my mind about which thing I want to return. So we have lessons learned in the deck. So we can replay one cost events. Probably not going to replay Demonic Rising. I'm going to leave these four up. I guess I can get rid of Transform as well. We're going to go ahead and get that wolf token out of here. If there is a Rescue Griffin, we'll just eat it now. We're going to leave this Keeper of Secrets up. I could use it. I'm going to attack here because with 3 cards in hand, it's actually not unreasonable that Rob doesn't have a good off-turn play to make. So I don't want to pass and just let Rob spend the gold, not really doing anything. And just starting his turn. I might get blown up by an Apocalypse here, but we'll see. I'm somewhat expecting an Apocalypse, but that's fine. I'll just flanking maneuver. I'll block the Dark Knight with my Wolf token. And then we'll go start off with Juggernaut or something. Alright, looks like our Sea Titan is going to be sitting pretty here. We are going to have to take 7, and then the question is, do we block the Entangling Vines with the Sea Titan or not? Now that we have this draw 2, I think we do, and then we just Inner Demon the Cyclops. Or, I'm not sure. I might just have to take it. Don't really want to get blown out by a board clear here. I'd like to at least have my gold to spend. A really big tell would be Wolf into entangling vines. If the Wolf attacks, we definitely take 2. If the Wolf attacks, there's probably a board clear. Interesting. This is I like this play because it forces me to act if I want to actually deal with that for my gold. And then Rob can sort of guarantee 11-6, I'd be at 14. I'm just going to go ahead and put myself at 14 here. That's fine. I'll take all of this damage. I mean, I really don't need to get that much through in order to win, so a lot of us will just have to stay back, likely. There's Winds of Change. I'm going to go ahead and give that breakthrough and +5/+5 until end of turn. So I'm just going to go ahead and Inner Demon that. So we'll give Rob a demon token, but put a Sea Titan into play and remove that from play. So it seems worth it. Now the most aggressive play Rob can make would just be to attack with all three, and then make a play on my turn basically as soon as I attack. I'm guessing that Rob doesn't have an Apocalypse, and Rob must have banished with the Temporal Shift, a card that we didn't see. Yeah, personally I would just leave the Wolf token back, but it does depend on what your entire game plan is. I kind of have to attack with this Kong first, just because Entangling Vines exists. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I could Lightning Storm both these tokens away. And then I'm kind of forcing Rob to either have an answer or just lose. Rain of Fire would be better here. It would be so much better. But I do pretty much have to act first in this scenario. Either I have to attack so that I can't attack with something like this Keeper Secrets, because then a wild card can extend my Kong. And both of these can be blocked, and then I am going to die from these other two, likely. I am just going to go ahead and Lightning Storm both of these tokens, and then start attacking and see what happens. Go ahead and just leave my Keeper of Secrets up. If Rob wants to expend that right away, it's going to be hard to come up with a wild card that efficiently answers Kong and Sea Titan, except for maybe just like a Wolf's Call, something that puts a bunch of tokens into play. Zombie Apocalypse. Alright, that's fine. Alright, well, we'll see if Rob basically needs like a Draka or a Power Soul and two other wild cards in hand. Or like the evil one that does the same thing. There's a couple of those, Rax's Enforcer and the Demon of Anguish. Both deal damage to all of your opponent's champions. Looks like Rob's going to go for the trade though, so I'm just going to trade in all but one of my zombies. That's fine. I think overall our deck has a lot of sustain. So we prefer the game to go long over most decks. We have a full discard pile banish, we have a good amount of draw twos and a lot of loyalty twos. And these Juggernaut and Steel Golem especially, is much better if there's no champions on the opponent's side. Plus it's lethal if it hits, so. Thank you. Alright, it looks like Rob just played a Cave Troll. Do I want to start my turn? I kind of feel like Rob has nothing. Maybe a Mythic monster? No. Why wouldn't you just make a play? Unless you had only Blitz champions. If we recall this Lightning Storm, hit with Juggernaut. I think we have lethal set up. I'm gonna go ahead and recall it. I'm gonna be very greedy here. I just don't really feel like Rob has a legitimate play. Otherwise, why just Cave Troll Pass? maybe a draw too. But this sets us up for lethal next turn. We can Juggernaut attack. Juggernaut is very difficult to answer on its own. If it's blocked, we remove the Cave Troll and deal 6 damage, putting Rob at 7. And then the zombie token will put Rob at 5, and the Lightning Storm gets lethal. Essentially. Yeah. It's actually a sour. I'm expecting no obvious play here, since no move's been made. So there's no, we're not going to get blown up by some big blitz airborne champion, because otherwise it just would be obvious, right? Maybe trying to figure out whether to do a 1-cost play for a very strong effect, or draw 2. Alright, sounds good. See if we can just top deck a Sage card here. That would be perfect. But it's not what we wanted. It's 11. So we have 11 in hand. If we can deal 6 here, sorry, then our opponent's at 7, and we can kill them with Lightning Storm plus Dracus Fire. We'll take 8 being at 8, so we can take the 3 from the Dracus Fire hitting us. I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Juggernaut here. Basically, Rob knows about this Lightning Storm, which can deal 6 damage to Rob. But so basically he can't just take 9 and be at 4 unless this last card gains health, which means that at least Cave Troll has to be tossed in the way, in which case at 7 maybe Rob survives, right? For the plays that I'm making, make it seem like I have a Lightning Storm and a 0-cost card that together can deal enough, even though I'm effectively just going to be clocking multiple turns in a row. I'm really interested in what this last card is. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. I mean, I guess it would be nice to just win, but being able to take out this Wyvern for free is very nice. And then we can just afford to lose 5 health on the swing back. I think that last card, maybe a draw too? I don't know what you wouldn't play here on the attack. I guess it's just an ambush champion. Lightning Storm's going to come in handy here. Definitely going to take out the Temporal Enforcer and then do 2 damage to Rob. Might as well just use it right away. Rob is in top deck mode here, so the only card in hand is the one that was just drawn. I could greedily just take 11, but because I have such a good, I'm in such a good position, I'm not willing to take the damage. And then if this top deck is direct damage, I lose. Because like this 9, if it connects, then we just win next turn anyway. So even if it gets blocked, right? If that's a blitz, if that is a rampaging worm, we lose. Or I think that's it. That's the only thing that kills us is rampaging worm. Could be a 0-cost recycle, and then like a Go Wild or a Flame Spike would also be able to do it if the right card was drawn right after. both have pretty big yards. You know, we did pass an army the apocalypse. We might lose to that. Final task. I wasn't thinking about that one. That will cause us to lose. Alright, well, good game, Rob. Yeah, we just take 13 here for the final task. Alright. Final task brings back a champion and it can attack right away this turn and then it dies. And also the Scaros in the discard pile would have done it as well. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and try finding an opponent. And then if we go for too long, I might just wrap up the stream early. So this deck that I've been working on is kind of like a mixture of two other decks. Both the one that used, we had this earlier deck that was like aggressive champions and things like Thought Plucker. But basically I've just stripped out all the loyalty cards, so there's nothing like Helion in here, except for this Veldin, which only really needs one card to be good. And I just decided to make it as much either extremely high value or basically an aggressive card as possible. So we have must removes like Angel of Mercy, Avenging Angel to an extent, Thought Plucker, and then just very aggressive cards like Gold Dragon, Angel of the Gate, Juggernaut, and Veldin, and Kong, which all just put a lot of pressure on our opponent. So the idea is you basically just force your opponent to play into your punishers. And I think it has some similarities to some of the other ones, but I've also put in a lot more card draw here, so it's definitely a slower version. And basically what we're going for is more sustain, while having the same idea of all cards that are all good on their own, but they generally just punish the opponent very hard for not having, for trying to be greedy and removing things early. So like right here we see a Smash and Burn as prize attack, so if there's no 0 we can just get away with blocking with this Angel of the Gate maybe. Looks like that worked. Game 5, and then we'll attack with this. And then even if this gets removed, we can just immediately play a Blitz Champion. So the Juggernaut comes in. And then if this gets removed, we can ambush out a champion. But if not, just continue applying pressure. What we have here. Okay, go ahead and remove that with the Flame Strike. Surprise attack that out, and then we'll grab a Thought Plucker. The Royal Escort is there because of how good it is with Avenging Angel, Thought Plucker, and Noble Unicorn. I think that what's interesting is my experience playing this deck. You don't actually need to draw 2 that often. A lot of your champions generate card advantage on their own. This deck might even want a Muse in it. I actually don't normally put Muse in a lot of my decks just because I find that it's so punishing if you try to play a Muse and then it gets removed by your opponent's 0. that gives them an advantage, like a Wolf's Bite, then it just falls flat. So no real need to put Muse in most decks. I think you really want to. This might be a deck that can really benefit from it. But I've been liking Frantic Digging a lot with Warrior Golem. So it's kind of a combo there. Warrior Golem says it goes to your discard pile, then you can recycle. And if you Frantic Digging to discard your Warrior Golem, then you get to draw a card and recycle twice. Alright, we're going first. I need an off-turn play pretty badly. So I'm just going to keep this Misguide Herald and mulligan the rest. Someone's looking for an arena game, so I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can hop into that. Yes, yeah, I have this ridiculous deck that uses Necromancer Lord. It has Necromancer Lord and Final Task and Angelic Protector and Royal Escort, and you just try to keep your Necromancer Lord alive. I found that it had a lot of pieces. It's kind of difficult to get it to do anything really crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this Knight of Shadows here. Really like Knight of Shadows, Arcane Research, and honestly probably the Spawning Demon. Kind of forces us into picking up some evil ones, which you might not end up doing much of, but I think it's a great card. Here, I really want to take the Hunting Pack. I find Hunting Pack to be very good in limited formats, just because it removes something and you get a bunch of bodies off turn. Go ahead and pick up these two. This is removal attached to a body, and then Lay Claim is going to be our first board clear. And like making 4 human tokens and drawing a card's fine if it's a the board's clear for some reason. Smash and Burn is probably the pick here. I could take the Javelin Thrower. I like the Smash and Burn a lot though. Don't have much in the way of card draw. That's a very good pack. Don't know what else I would take out of that. Here, I think we're just going to pick up these evil cards. Revolt's honestly pretty reasonable because it draws 2, and Lightning Elemental is also reasonable. It's like kind of like a big body attached to a way to remove stuff like Muse. But just because we already have the Spawning Demon going into evil here makes sense. We have 2 demon cards right now, so we could take this Rax's Displeasure or this Anguish Demon. I'm going to go ahead and take the Anguish Demon, because if our opponent takes Rax's Displeasure, it won't actually be very good against us. We'll go ahead and grab the Citadel Scholar and probably the Marcus. Just as discard protection. The War Machine is reasonable if we get enough Sage, but it's not looking like we will right now, and it's not enough to push me in that direction. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up what I would consider to be the baseline stronger card, which is Urgent Messengers. I think this card is just great for any deck. It draws 2, and it gives you potentially, you know, something like 8 health just from blocking 2 things. I mean, sometimes it does nothing. Like it just the 2 human tokens get removed. Go ahead and grab this Erratic Research here, just as a way to banish the discard pile. We have a Hunting Pack. We could take the Forest Dweller. I think I like the Eager Necromancer though. Gives us some more discard pile banishment, and it's potentially 7 offense and 7 defense attached to 4 bodies for 0, which is very strong. The problem is it doesn't actually end up that way very often. I've actually got some reasonable cards for No Escape. I think I'm going to take that over the Deathbringer here. I'd usually rather draw a card than get an Airborne 4/5. Could actually go into Sage with 4 Sage. I could take both of these. Otherwise, what am I doing? I could take Fire's Rebellion, Noble Martyr. Yeah, we're just going to pick up some Sage cards, I guess, this game. Not that exciting, in my opinion. I just think they'll be hard to work at working, but maybe we'll end up with a lot more Sage cards, who knows. we have enough evil since we're only running Spawning Demon and Necrovirus. So I'm actually going to grab probably this Rescue Griffin. I think it's quite solid. We have a full discard pile banish and discard banish several cards, so I'm not going to take the. Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. Probably going to take the Grave Demon. I mean, not the Grave Demon. Probably not going to take the Grave Demon. Probably looking like this right now. Hands from below, you can remove a lot of stuff with it. The real question is Imperial, the draw to, or the. Maybe you do have 2 cards that make human tokens. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. What kind of into the battlefield effects do we have? We have Eager Necromancer, Citadel Scholar, and that's basically it. So we're just going to take this Feeding Frenzy here. Maybe we can get someone if a human token gets blocked, then we can just Feeding Frenzy that. We don't have champions, right? Kind of more of a value deck. We have some 0-cost champions. I'm gonna grab this Heinous Feast here and draw. It'll be used to draw 2 a lot. That's fine. And Winged Death will be one of our weird punishers. With 9 evil cards, Xanos is looking pretty good. It's 1 and 3. Yeah, we'll pick up the Xanos. Got the Flanking Maneuver and the Vilify here. I personally would prefer to get 2 demon tokens over 6/7 Airborne, but they're both reasonable. They're both reasonable. Honestly, the ability to break a 0-cost champion is more like icing. A lot of the time you can't find a good target for it. Alright. Honestly, this might be a Subjugate deck. We have very few things that Subjugate hits. It hits Anguish Demon, Marcus, and Xanos. We have a lot of tokens. Don't have that many Sage, so Knight of Lara is not that exciting. I'm going to take the Subjugate here. I think Mythic Monster is also reasonable. Ambush plays. Do we have any? No ambush plays. How many events? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones that we'd want a lessons learned, maybe. So I'm going to take the Sandworm here. Alright. That's going to actually be our only ambush champion. So if we have Sandworm, we have an ambush champion. If we don't have Sandworm, we're not playing a champion off turn. Basically. We're going first. I don't want this Eager Necromancer. I want a draw 2. I think the best one to keep is the Subjugate. Perfect. We got the Knight of Shadows. It's a good start. Actually, could set up a very good Subjugate here. It does not hit Knight of Shadows. And what Subjugate does is it banishes all champions that have more than 6 defense, so 7 defense or more. So I'm just going to take 9 here. Hopefully Drew Eyes plays another card that we can also get Subjugate value off of. Looks like that won't be the case. Go ahead and do that. We just make 4 human tokens and draw a card here. So you can block and we'll still have some things out. Subjugate might need to be used to draw 2. But hopefully we can get another Urgent Messengers or something. Vilify, huh? There's not an Urgent Messengers. Good Xanos for 3, which is actually a fine play, in my opinion. I'm just going to draw 2. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use the Subjugate. I don't have an off-turn play except for Necrovirus now. That's not great. Hopefully we have a Necrovirus target. Alright. It's better to just sacrifice the human tokens and see what Drew Eyes does before playing the Necrovirus. Like if Drew Eyes just attacks with all three, I block 2, and then I take 4. Then and then passes, so I'll just start my turn. And then I can Xanos and make 4 or more. So Lara is not looking good right now. It's so many draw 2s at first. Alright. Oh yeah, we're doing a big Xanos. That's what we're doing. Five zombies, 5 damage, 5 health. A 9/9. That sounds like great value. Still, our only off turn, we only have 2 cards that you can spend a gold on right now. Those are Necrovirus and Alara. So we're going to have to try and play around that. Drew Eyes didn't spend the gold off turn, so that's good for us. Break All would actually be the worst for us here because Drew Eyes could attack with Master Zo and then Break All before I choose blockers. And then I'd be having this 9 coming in. Definitely starting my turn. Could... You want to use that to draw 2, let's be honest. Let's attack with Hema Token. See what Drew Eyes wants to do. There's no way Drew Eyes blocks 2 of these zombies, right? Because then I can attack with all my other things. So I wonder how much damage we can get in with zombies. Maybe I should just attack with all of my zombies. We do have to spend a gold here because we have 8 cards in hand. I mean, I could discard a card. Get rid of this Alara, for example. That'd be fine. But also, Drew Eyes didn't have a play last turn, which makes me think playing the Alara here is probably reasonable. Lightning Mage. It's a good play. I mean, it's not really worth removing that when I could get 2 demons instead. Right, I could get 2 demons, or I could remove a 3/3 and get a 2/2. I think the 2 demons is better. I really want to get something, and we get the 3 health, but I think that's relevant. Don't really want to use my consume there. Actually, now what we do is this. Consume if they walk with the 9/6. They know about the consume. They know about almost my entire hand. They don't know about Alara, Rescue Griffin, or the No Escape. So that sounds good. Let's attack for 9. Mobilize to make 3 humans, okay. Oh, we're not really doing anything about that. Sure. We're going to go ahead and consume the 9/2, and we'll play the Alara. And then I'm going to pass here if Drew Eyes makes a play, I might play the Civilify for the 2 demons. But if Drew Eyes doesn't make a play, then I'm very happy. Sneak this Alara in, but there's no way this Alara is getting loyalty to this game. I mean, we have 4 Sage cards in our, 5 Sage cards in our deck. we don't have any in hand. That is not great. Gonna break a human token to make 2 demons. We don't have a lot in the way of board clears, honestly. We have that subjugate, which we already played. We might still have to worry about that break all non-demons, which could be pretty bad for us. Go ahead and make 2 demons now. We can use this Alara to transform something on our turn into a wolf token. It'll probably be the Rift Summoner if they're both still alive. 2 cards in hand. It's possible the Mobilize was just drawn last turn, which is why Drew Eyes made this play. Didn't make the play last turn of Mobilize Rift Summoner. In which case, Drew Eyes is just drawing an off-turn play right now. Or, I mean, those 2 cards don't have an off-turn play in them. But we don't know that for sure. I just want to block this with my demon token. Could block with this Alara here, but keeping this Alara alive is so important. I'd rather just take the 4 and guarantee its safety than having it die to a Wolf's Companion or something. Taking 4 from this Death, what's it called? Deathbringer. Yeah. You mean the activated ability? Yeah, there's some good targets for Alara. Alright, so I think I just block this with the human token. And then I block the Lightning Mage with the Spawning Demon. Or maybe we just take 3. I still think we're ahead on board, which is why I don't really want to hands from below, but I'm not really sure. Tough to say. Really, if this Alara survives, then we can do all kinds of things. Kind of expecting this demon to get eaten here. It might be correct for me just to Necrovirus. Yeah, it probably was correct for me just to Necrovirus right away on the first attack there, but that's what it is. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and be greedy here and just Spawning Demon, no escape, draw 2, and then block with the demon token. Could get blown out by a break all non-demons here or something, but I think that's fine. Mythic Monster, sure. Mythic Monster is actually not a problem for us at all because we can Alara it eventually. We're going to get rid of this Rift Summoner first. Rift Summoner is a bigger threat than the Mythic Monster. Mostly because the Mythic Monster can just be blocked. So if we smash and burn, that's +5/+5, that would make this 9/9 a 14/14. Not really big enough to contest the Mythic Monster there. So I think I will just Bounty Hunter the Mythic Monster, and then pass. This is a complicated board state. This Airborne Champion keeps chunking us. I have not wanted to commit my Rescue Griffin to the board because I think there will be a board clear at some point. No off-turn play, that's good for us. Joyce is doing very good for not having made an off-turn play several turns. Alright, we're going to take 4 here. Could do something like Hunting Pack here, but I really would rather just let this board resolve itself slowly as it is. I'll probably transform that next. Just slowly grind away at my opponent's resources instead of just aggressively making plays and getting punished by, like, every single time our opponent has acted first, and then we've been able to, not last turn actually. So far we've been able to act. 9 damage each 1 cost, I'm guessing. Alright. So block with the human token. Got our work cut out for us. We have Hands from Below, Rescue Griffin, and Smash and Burn to block the rest of these attacks here. I'm probably going to Smash and Burn a Wolf token if my opponent just passes, and then they won't want to make any attack. Probably. This is probably the best use of Rescue Griffin. I mean, I could Hands from Below, but this way I can still Hands from Below if I want. But this way I use the Rescue Griffin is more value than the Hands from Below. But it also means that if Drew Eyes decides not to attack with anything else, then I can hold on to this Hands from Below for later. I'll do +5/+5. We're going to Smash and Burn for +5/+5, but also draw 2. I think Drew Eyes may have just picked up too many zeros here. It seems like Drew Eyes just has had as many zeros to play as wanted, but they just don't have as much of an impact as the 1 costs. So you want to have some 1 costs, you know. Alright, let's just go ahead and get in with this, and if the way is clear, I'm probably just going to risk it with the Wing Death. Get a Demon token and eat 2 things. Honestly, this Marcus is not bad either, just getting rid of all 3 tokens. But I think this is a really good opportunity for Wing Death, which isn't always the case. Even though here it just gets rid of 2, it just stays in play and continues to be a threat. Just gonna go ahead and be aggressive with it. Just assuming that last card in hand is not a good answer to Wing Death. And that'll be a 3/3. Could get punished by Break All Non-Demons here. It would be very good. I mean, we'd keep, I guess, Wing Death as a demon, so we're playing around that. We're totally playing around Rax's displeasure. Alright, Silver Dragon is good here. Getting rid of 2 tokens, making the 9/8 very good. What's interesting is if Drew Eyes attacks with the demon, I would be able to Necrovirus the Master Zo. But this is fine. We're going to Necrovirus the 9/8. Which gives both of us a zombie, and we get a demon from our spawning demon. And then we can block this 9/8 with our zombie token. And then we can just continue to apply pressure with our airborne champions. Just feed tokens. This is the token killer. Master Zoe has killed so many tokens. I think Master Zoe has played on the first turn and has just killed a token every turn for 5 turns. Alright, looks like the opponent's turn is over. So I could Marcus before the Winged Death attacks and try and clear the entire board. But I would be sending my gold first. It does seem very strong. We're going to go ahead and see what damage we can get in before doing that. Alright, we're going to go for it. Be super greedy here. Just drew 1 card off of the gold for the dragon. Go ahead and try and get in with our ground champions first, I think. No, we'll do the Winged Death first. Again, we could get super punished here, but there's no reason for us to pass. Probably going to give me 5 health here. See, that's interesting. I might actually be inclined to draw 2. Because without any draw 2s in hand, I mean, that's rough. You're just relying on getting more card draw off the top. But maybe earlier, when we saw Drew Eyes draw that 1 card, they drew one of the draw 2s, and they played Silver Dragon and do a second draw 2. So maybe they still have more card draw in hand. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this 10-10 here. We'll block the 9-8 with it and just hope for the best. But honestly, yeah, Drew Eyes at 6 health. I'm not very worried. We could get blown out here still by a break all. If Drew Eyes attacks with this, then breaks all champions, I'll lose my whole board. So we're just going to go all in. Oh, I see. Just going to play that and then pass. Interesting here is I could just start my turn. I think I am going to go ahead and draw 2, but I might take 9 for it, which is fine. Last time I left myself at 11, I got blown out pretty hard. Yeah, lots of value engines. Ball tabbing. This spawning demon has done a lot of work for us. I think it spawned 4 demons, so we've gotten basically 5 demons out of the deal because this we've been attacking with the spawning demon as well. Alright, so let's just do the Marcus first, and then if they double block, we kill the flyer. If they block with the Master Zoe, it's fine. If they block with Sky Serpent, we take down the Sky Serpent, and they have to block. So any possible block is good. Even if this just ends up removing the Master Zoe from being a potential blocker. The reason I'm doing the big champion first is it's possible that Drew Eye still has some removal left, and I want to force them, if their plan is to remove my big guy, I want to force them to use that removal first, so I can react, as just happened. It's actually very good for them. They draw 2, and they win this fight. They turn this fight into me killing their champion, into their champion killing my champion. And they shrink all of my other attacks, so I can't actually kill them even if I hit them with all 3 of these. So we're going to go ahead and let that happen. Then I suppose we'll get in for 1 and probably just hunting back that down. And then pass. Yeah. Let's go ahead and hit for 1. Just don't have my phone set up not to auto lock, so I keep forgetting. I don't know if I can quickly change that easily. It's fine. Alright, let's take down that Sky Serpent. Ooh, I completely forgot about this smash and burn from a while ago. Well, we might as well skip. I think ultimately the Master Zoe is less valuable than the big airborne champion anyway. The Master Zoe just has the potential to be really powerful if they have Break All in hand. We're saving this Citadel Scholar and this Handsman below so that we have more stuff to throw out if our board gets cleared here. And even though, it's interesting, even though I said that Sky Sandworm was our only ambush champion, we actually have a lot of token makers off turn. They're going to add a lot of stuff to the board. I think we are just going to go wide if they're going to go tall. Alright, that should be enough. We should just win from here. Right, 1, 2, 3. I mean, they could not block them, but yeah, we'll just start with our smallest champions, and we should just be able to win. I suppose we would get stopped by a ceasefire here. So it's possible for us to still be out of this. Or a Quell would be devastating, or pretty much anything that clears our whole side of the board. And even then, even a full board clear, like a zombie apocalypse, would probably be in our favor with our big yard. Just looking to see if we have lethal. Get back a Sky Serpent and give me a demon token. Seems fine. We should just be able to win, right? I'm pretty sure they don't have enough to block everything. Really just battled. I should just battle pass with everything. We might use a flanking maneuver on the wolf token, so. Do you have 3 blockers left? Okay. Just gonna flanking maneuver this. See if we win from that. If they can answer this for 0, then I suppose they would have an out. Alright. Good game, Drew Eyes. Really held on there. I was expecting that. Usually when one player just has trouble finding ways to spend their gold, they have a hard time getting into the game, but I think that you did very well. Alright, so that's going to wrap up the stream. Yeah, that Master Zoe is just in play the entire game. And I'll be back again on Monday. Don't think I'll be streaming next Friday, but yeah, we'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, have some good games. Thank you. You have a good weekend too, Cash.